to get into that first class compartment. Sometimes you'd think खाली है क्या, घुस जाए क्या, रात के 12 बजे last train पकड़ रहे हैं, वापस जा रहे हैं, So of course those kind of things are very, very normal. And there's a moment where Sunny picks up the wrench.
Yeah.
That was not in the script.
Yeah.
It was not in the script. Raj and DK both were there, and I was like, it was there, and I was just like, I feel like picking it up.
Wow.
And they were like, are you sure you want to pick it up? लेकिन अपने वो होते हैं जो साथ खड़े हो. So I feel that उसने गुस्से में कहा, लेकिन वो बात सही.
बिल्कुल. Hi, this is Sana Farzeen and you're watching IndianExpress.com, and I have with me Sunny, aka Sandeep, aka artist Shahid Kapoor. Shahid, one personal anecdote. All my life I've heard the name Farzi because of my surname. It's Farzeen, so people call me Farzi. So this show was a very important test for you guys, and you guys passed.
Thank you.
But tell me, how are you enjoying the success? Like, what's the best thing you've read about Farzi?
Actually, the cool stuff that one reads is when they say, the first time Sunny and Feroz met was at a railway station, and then the last time they are supposed to meet, Feroz is waiting for him at a railway station. Or, things like when Sunny's father, when he died, he had a bag full of notes, and it's because those notes are flying. And then in the last episode, Sunny chooses to burn the money that his father refused to leave, and that's why he died, and that's how Sunny escaped. When those small things are being noticed, or when people say that, the Sunny's conscience was his Nanu, and after Nanu died, you can see that now he has no remorse. He has no, he has turned into an animal or whatever you want to call it. But, Sunny is now a full-blown, bad guy. And when they notice those things and the choices that were made when the show was being made, or when they notice the fact that, this was like a experiment for me, and fortunately Raj and DK supported me, is that I know about myself that when I was, in my early 20s, I was dancing with Shamak, and at the same time I used to go to college. At the same time, I had some very streety friends. At the same time, one would go into slightly high society scenarios, and my accent would change. When I was in different scenarios, I'd speak differently.
Yeah.
Which I still do. Like right now, I'm talking to you like this, but I can also talk to my friends. Like that happens, right? So I wanted to bring that into Sunny because I felt that he was that kind of guy, that he will change himself according to the scenario he's in.
True.
So when those things are being understood and they're not being seen as, oh, the accent was not consistent. You hear people say that, but people's accents are not consistent. People change according to their circumstances, and I felt that in this show, Sunny's character could have that kind of personality, and when those things are being liked, that is extremely satisfying because people are really getting into the depth of the story and the characters, and they are picking up these small nuances. To me, that's really magical. Yeah.
So Shahid, there's a very interesting scene where you and Feroz go to Velocity Bar for the first time, and the manager, of course, throws you out. As you were rightly speaking about your struggling days and your streety friends, did you ever have an experience like this?
Of course. To get into that first class compartment, sometimes you'd think खाली है क्या, घुस जाए क्या, रात के 12 बजे last train पकड़ रहे हैं, वापस जा रहे हैं. So of course those kind of things are very, very normal and very relatable. I could very much relate to Sunny's journey and very much relate to his character. I've lived those kind of moments in my life.
Yeah.
And it's very, and I think that's why people also relate to it because it's just so normal.
If you have to pick which has been your favorite scene from the film or something that just...
Favorite scene from the show?
From the show, of course.
Wow, it's really difficult to pick one, I really enjoy the last episode. I felt the last episode, all the climactic beats were very, very potent.
Yeah.
They were strong, they were the emotionality and the journey of the characters, all the characters really came to, like a peaking point. And the last shot is my favorite shot. The last shot, which is just like, that red burning. And people notice that, the fact that the fake money burns red.
Yeah.
And the fact that when he puts the money to fire, it was burning red and it was not burning yellow. And the fact that the last frame had only red all around Sunny's face. the fact that the antagonist, which is Mansoor, and Sunny, don't have a face-off.
Yeah,
it happens on a phone call. So I think those things were like really cool. Like those choices, I think that we made were really cool.
Yeah.
I really enjoy Sunny and Nanu's last meal together.
Yeah.
After that he doesn't meet Nanu again.
Right.
And it ends on that note where Nanu says, I have these dreams where I feel you're doing something wrong. And that's the last conversation they have. Or there's a scene, I think the 4th or 5th episode, where finally Chachu steps away, and when they
realize
that whole confrontation where Sunny is being so inappropriate in the way that he's speaking, and that is those, and then that moment when he says, "Will you go tell the cops?" That for me was one of my favorite moments for this character. I was like, this guy is really losing it. The thoughts that are coming into his head are really off. And I was loving that because I love playing characters. And I was like, yeah, let's do this. Another thing very much that is very special for me is the scene where, Megha comes for the first time and she comes into the printing press. And there's a moment where, Sunny picks up the wrench.
Yeah.
That was not in the script. Yeah. It was not in the script. Raj and DK both were there, and I was like, it was there, and I was just like, I feel like picking it up.
Wow.
And they were like, are you sure you want to pick it up? I was like, I think he should. So that's who he is going to become. So it feels right. Yeah. And we did it, and initially they were like, are you sure? Is it too early? But once it happened, they kind of liked it, and they felt like, like it's, and then that line where he says, were you actually going to do it? And then Sunny's like, are you crazy? I wasn't going to do it. But that if it had to happen, he'd probably do it. So I think I was keeping myself very separated from Sunny. I was not judging Sunny. I was actually trying to be Sunny. Yeah. And I was trying to feel like, what would this guy be ready to do?
Absolutely.
And you need to do that for that climactic beat to work. All these beats were required, and I felt like all those came through really well. And so, there's so many I have. Difficult to name one, sorry.
There's one line that has really gone viral right now is where he says कि ये क्या अपने वो होते जो चले गए वो क्या अपने होते. Tell me, Shahid, how important are loved ones around you to just that apne factor? Like, is it very important to you?
Yes, I think अपने वही होते हैं जो साथ खड़े रहते हैं. रिश्ते होते हैं, नाते होते हैं, लेकिन अपने वो होते हैं जो साथ खड़े रहते हैं. So I feel that उसने गुस्से में कहा, लेकिन वो बात सही. बिल्कुल. कि जो साथ में खड़ा है वो. Yeah. And I have experienced that in life. So many of my closest relationships are with people who are not related to me, people who I have just met in life sometimes, and they stand by you, they support you, they love you, they walk with you in your moments in life, you walk with them in their moments in life, and I think apne wohi hote. So I could really relate to that.
Right. Shahid, there's a lot of people who felt that you made your digital debut quite late because a lot of actors have already...
I'm one of the first actors. Who are the other actors? Tell me, who have debuted on the OTT platform? Which Hindi film heroes have debuted on OTT? Tell me.
There's Saif, Abhishek, a few, of course.
Abhishek has debuted on which show?
Breathe.
And lately we had Ajay sir who came with...
Rudra.
Yeah, sir, number 4. Sorry.
Yeah, but did you have your thoughts, or like what was in your mind when you decided that you want to venture into the digital space?
मैंने बड़ा late होकर दिया है. No, I never thought of late or early actually.
Yeah.
I wanted to try my hand at doing long format because I had been watching that, and I had been watching that for a while.
Yeah.
And I had really enjoyed watching OTT content and watching long format. I used to get hooked onto shows and you binge watch them. And I felt it gives you a very different opportunity as an actor to express yourself in a very different way. Yeah. So, it was never for me about first, second, third. I feel in my generation, I'm still one of the first who has worked. So maybe that's why I didn't connect to the fact that there are other people who've also done this. Why? I mean, it's great. I mean, you get a good role, you get a good show, you work with good people.
Absolutely.
And if you feel like this is something that resonates with, the artist within you, you should just do it.
Amazing. It will be 20 years soon of your career, April. So
May 9th.
Okay.
Is when
Wikipedia says April.
Ishq released. Yeah.
Shahid, how do you look back at your career? How much do you think you evolved as a person, as an actor?
It's been a huge learning curve.
Yeah.
And I think a lot in me has changed, but certain fundamentals are still very much the same. I don't know. I just feel that you have to just hold on to that innocence with which you started acting. You know, you go through phases where it goes away, and you have to connect with it again, and you have to bring it back, and then you know you have to keep it at the forefront of everything. You know, because if you want to be good at anything, you have to be a student. Always. You know, that student in you who's curious and who wants to learn and who wants to evolve has to stay alive. And I think if you really connect with that side, you always stay young at heart. You never take yourself too seriously. And I think I've worked on that in the last few years. I try to be like that kind of